Next Level Deer Supplements. I'm Nate Clark.
I'm Scott Christensen, and we want to welcome you to year 2 of the Velvet Gains series put on by our partners, Chasing the Dream. I hope you enjoy.
Let them grow.
Starting here at the bullpen this afternoon, and this feeder's been pretty hard to keep full. There's a lot of deer that have been coming out of the trees here and the big timber across the creek up by the little pond. Nothing too big yet. I haven't checked the camera here for a couple weeks, so hopefully something's moved in a little bit. Stop number 2 here is the little alfalfa field, and again this spot is along the Ponca that's dry now, but it's also one of the only green alfalfa fields along this stretch of our property, so hasn't been a whole lot here the past month. A couple decent bucks, but nothing too crazy, and we had a lot of bucks last year that made it through season and haven't had any pictures of them this year, and most of those should be shooters, so no reason to think that they're dead. A lot can change once that velvet comes off, so just gonna keep the herd that's here fed and healthy, and hope we have a few more bucks show up for season. Down at the windmill bottom now, I've got several really good 3-year-old bucks that I've had the last 2 years for sure on 2 of them, and 3 years for sure on the bigger one. And I've got a little bit of velvet footage of them and might try to get a little bit more tonight, but they've been here quite a bit, and I only have a small feeder here, so they basically blow through it before a week is even up. And then with it being so dry, a couple years ago I dug a little water trough into the ground here in a little washout. I'm going to come in here and get that water tub filled back up and keep it full, and that'll definitely help with how much the deer are coming through here, especially once we have to pull feed out of here before season starts. So some of these bucks are pretty good potential, and I hope at least one of them makes it to 5 years old, because they could be something really special. Just went and pulled the trail camera off the West Canyon feeder. Probably not going to put a camera down in there again this year. It's been drier than it's ever been, and I think in the last 2 weeks there was only one buck on it. So show you guys that buck and get on to the corridor plot. This feeder is dry again. There's a ton of deer that have been living down here and a couple pretty good bucks. Every time I check it, it's almost full every 2 weeks, so that's a good sign. So we'll get this filled up and move on to the 80, and then I'll finish up the rest of them tomorrow. Down at the 80 now, and I'm gonna finish this up real quick before it gets too late and the deer start moving. But this is where probably the biggest buck of the year so far is, and has been for, I think, probably pretty close to a month. He's been coming down here, get this stuff up and get out of here, and hopefully they show up on the cell cam tonight. Starting down here at the creek feeder, there's one big deer that's probably going to end up being my #1 hit lister. Hopefully he starts showing up a little bit more, along with some of the other bucks that we lost once the cows came in here. So we're going to get the feeder filled back up, put down a Next Level Deer Supplements roasted soybean block and a little bit more mineral, and then move on to the next spot. Last spot of the video down here in the timber pond, Finn's favorite spot. She's in the water, of course, but I really have no idea what's been here this month at all. I haven't checked the camera, so this spot I think could end up being pretty good, especially with everything else drying up. It's constantly fed by a cold spring, so it stays full. There's full shade in here, plenty of bedding, so this spot might end up being pretty crucial this fall.